This is Trivecta. We are here on Groove Cruise.
Hi guys, it's Elaine here with Neon Owl. We are here with Sam, aka Trivecta,
Hi,
here on
yes.
Groove Cruise.
We're here.
What are your thoughts so far, Groove Cruise?
Look, I'm pleasantly surprised. I'm not a cruise person. I told you this earlier. They're too fun for me. They're too much fun and enjoyment. I'm way too grumpy for that. That said, I come into a cruise with not low expectations, but I know I'm going to be on a boat, and I'm like, damn, I've had a great time. This has been fantastic. This has been really good.
So you told us that usually after day one, he wants to get back into production and work.
That's my big thing, yeah.
But since he has all the homies here,
that's the big thing.
He's like, all right, it's a cruise.
Yeah, because I always get so focused on like a day into just vacationing. That's it. More than cruising, it's vacationing in general. Like if I'm vacationing for a day, I start being like, all right, what am I working on? Where's the music at? What am I, I'm just job focused like that, But here I have all my friends who are also doing music, and it's really cool because you're doing this with other people who are sort of doing the same thing, and I can talk to my buddies about music. We're all in the same space with all of it, so it's been a lot of fun.
Have you checked out the ship so far? What's been your favorite thing?
Awesome. Yeah. I haven't checked it out enough. Apparently there's the thing where it's like surfing in
That's
place.
what Rico and Miela just told us. I was like, what are you talking about? But I haven't checked out the whole thing either.
Michelle from Rico and Miela, she pitched it to me by telling me that...
She pitched it to us?
She did her pitch include that you're going to fall and it's going to hurt?
No, thank you. I was not sold.
Yeah, that's what I said. You did not make me just want to go on this.
Yeah.
She's like, you're going to hit your face on the ground. The water goes way faster than you thought. I was like,
you're like,
great.
Hey, Michelle, you're not a great salesperson.
That's literally what I said. But I'm still going to give it a spin. For you at home, I'm gonna do it. So if I don't make it back, this is the last known footage.
Who have you seen so far? Who are you excited to see?
Oh my gosh, I'm excited to see all my friends, of course. I'm excited to see John Summit. I've listened to his tunes a little bit lately.
That's let's see. Okay.
Is that right now?
That's soon.
Okay.
I believe. 4, 5-ish.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Last night I saw Markus Schulz.
We did too.
What'd you think?
It was amazing.
I was reconsidering my entire music career. I'm sitting there watching
Cold
Markus.
Harbor, what's up?
My gosh, what is this? What is Cold Harbor?
Cold Harbor, his record label.
Oh.
Yeah,
I live under a rock. I'm watching this set thinking to myself, what am I doing making melodic bass? I should be making this. I swear I'm going to start making some more music like that.
All right, you also heard it here first on Neon Owl.
Yeah, now you know.
We were there, at the theater. I didn't sit. Did you stay till the very end? I was there till 3, I think 3 something.
No, I was not there that late.
Yeah.
I got a good hour and a half though.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. That Groove Cruise has already been transformative in that respect.
It's amazing. So tell us a little bit about your influences.
Sure.
What has influenced you to become an artist, and then what are the musical sounds or people that you're influenced by?
Artist-wise, I've been creating music since I was a kid. When I was I was probably 13 or 14, and my friends, I was always the friend who would my friends would get into something, and I would get way too into it until they all hated it. And it was Sam,
and you'll still be here.
and I would still be doing that, Sam, we don't really like this anymore.
It's not cool anymore, Sam.
And I would still
Stop
be
being a loser.
And I think I was also my obsession also partly contributed to things not being cool. So in this case, it was me learning it. My friends will learn guitar casually, and I'm just oh, cool. Spend every day trying to, and then my friends all right, Sam, all right, and meanwhile I'm still playing, but eventually we started hardcore bands and stuff, screaming shit, and it was the kind of situation where we had friends who were doing it, but I would end up having to record everybody and sometimes re-record everybody's instruments. Eventually we moved to Florida, my family, and when we got there, I didn't know anybody for the first few months, and so I was just really taking all those sort of skill sets I learned recording music to just do that on my own, just write and record. And then eventually college came around and EDM got really big, and I hated it. I told you, I'm not a vacation, not a cruise,
not a vacation, not an EDM, but he's on Groove Cruise.
You got me.
All right.
You got me out of my element here. But hearing all that music, all that EDM stuff back in college, I was I could do this. Turns out I couldn't do it. It was really hard. And that path back of the last 11 years has been me trying to do it. I was I can't, and I kept getting closer to figuring out how to do it, and I would find music I liked by doing it, Avicii, Skrillex, guys like that, and just keep following that further and further and further, and that's kind of where we are now. Yeah, that's sort of the zoom out.
Was there a moment that, because you were like, oh, I'm bad at this. Was there a moment that you were like, oh, I think I'm probably kind of good at this and I can do this?
I think there wasn't one particular one, but the whole thing has been like, the journey is always moments where you're like, oh, I'm getting pretty damn good. So like, God damn it, I suck. And then like back and forth, you're always kind of sort of teetering between the two. A better answer to that though might be when I first signed a single onto Monster Cat, which was the first time that I had a song that was like getting really put on a platform that like, you'd have 100,000 people listening to. So that was probably the big one where it was like, but even still, I still felt what I put out then was derivative of other music. So you're always in your head kind of trying to push yourself to the next level with that.
Yeah. So how's it been like working with some of your friends, like Ophelia here, being on tour with like Midas and the crew? How's that journey been?
It's been awesome. I would say that the development of like Ophelia and putting all of our friends in one place has been one of the single most important sort of like I don't want to say milestones, but like sort of like events in my musical career. Like in melodic bass for forever, I was sort of trying to find a sort of lane with that, and there were other guys like Jeff Seven Lions had come up with his own lane, and he sort of pioneered that whole thing. And but there wasn't a lot of infrastructure for that. There wasn't a scene for that as much. And when Jeff put together Ophelia, and it was a bunch of artists who had all been trying to do the same thing together, it was just like, and that started with the pandemic, right around the pandemic, and we all started a WhatsApp group and have been chatting every single day since that whole, and so like
that's amazing.
It really is. I cannot say enough for like finally having a sort of family in this scene, like, and how far that has gone. It's really gone a long way. I'm so grateful. All the fun you see us have on like Instagram stories and shit like that, like on tour, it's entirely genuine. Like, and people can tell. We're not like out there like trying to be like.
Yeah, you're not trying to post for Instagram.
We're really
it's
not.
a real deal.
We're like, when we post on Instagram, we're like, we should probably share this. Like it's more like that in that respect. Yeah, we were really having a great time out there.
Yeah. What's been your favorite track or favorite collaboration up to date?
Oh man. If we're talking, some of my favorite ones are unreleased.
Okay.
As far as released ones, oh man, like collaborations, there have been some great ones. Anytime I collaborate with Wooly, we have so much fun. We have a workflow that is very much like this, very yin yang. So we work really well together. And obviously, like with Jeff, with Island, and everything like that. And those have been some really great ones. And like of my own tunes, I think some of the folk-based kind of stuff has been some of the stuff I'm most proud of, because that was me sort of making a conscious decision to combine what I was doing with sort of where my more unique influences are, and I think that's sort of the way forward sometimes.
Okay. And so talking about way forward, what can we expect from you in the very near future?
Hey.
Give us a teaser.
Yeah, so your boy been spending a whole lot of time putting out collabs for a while. Y'all should be able to realize that that's a warning sign. Because if I'm just sitting here putting out collabs for a long ass time,
you know what's up.
You know that means that I'm not just sitting behind the scenes doing nothing, allowing all my friends to do all the work on these songs. That means that your boy is getting friends to help out on collabs when he's working on a lot of other stuff behind the scenes.
You know what I mean?
So like, we ain't just been sitting, we've been working. When I told you that I don't like vacation, I mean
Clearly.
that like the last like 2 years have been your boy working on shit. So there's a lot of music in a bigger package than I've ever put out before, and a lot of shows that will come with it.
All right, so y'all gotta stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned.
And so we've been told, Shannon, who's a big fan as well, says you're super fun and you love steak.
Appreciate that.
You showcase your personality. It's very authentic.
Sure.
So tell us more about that. Like, have you always been this way? Have you always been, I feel like, outgoing? And I just met you, so.
Yeah, it's like this weird thing where I still try to figure out if I'm introverted or extroverted, because I need like
he
my.
He seems extroverted to me.
I need my space, but I also have. I spent 8 years as a guitar teacher. I actually just stopped to do this full time a few months ago. Hey.
Yay!
But I was doing 30 students a week. So like when you do that, it really trains you to learn to sort of turn it on and engage with people more. And so I think I'm like if this were a strand of like weed, I don't know if I can say that on here, but like.
Yeah, you can.
Okay. If this is like a strand of weed, I would be like a hybrid.
Okay, so maybe you're like an introverted extrovert?
Yeah,
something like that.
We'll do
where
that.
I think, well, I'm definitely an extrovert, but let's say you mingle, you do your thing, then you're like, I need to be in my room for a moment.
Fact.
To like recharge.
Or with like, or with just the right people or person, but yes. Yeah.
Okay. Who are some artists that are up and coming that you think people should look out for?
Ooh.
Especially if they like your music.
Up and coming, especially if they like my music. That's a good question. There are some cool artists like Xavi on Ophelia. This dude is doing some awesome stuff. He was on the Horizon. I'm sorry, not Horizon Tour. What do you call it? Pantheon Tour. Kicking ass, really sweet dude.
Yeah.
And making some really sort of unique, forward-thinking music. I really like what he's doing. There are others that I'm not thinking of that as soon as we're done with this interview, I'm gonna be like, Sam, what the hell? Why did you not say that? Give me 5 seconds to think of anybody I'm not. Come on, who am I like? I know.
And it's like, we can also insert it later if you like.
Oh,
listen to these people.
There's some music that Tynan has put out. He plays more like it's heavier stuff. It's not quite as melodic, but it's so creative and so forward thinking. And y'all know Markus Schulz, but I'm impressed by that.
He's a fan.
I'm a
He's
fan
coming
after
over.
last night.
He's coming over.
Yeah.
Awesome. Since we're on Groove Cruise, I have a few
Sure.
fun questions for you.
Let's go.
If you were the captain of this ship,
Yep.
and you're steering this boat
Okay.
somewhere,
Okay,
anywhere
got
in the
it. Yep,
world,
I'm steering.
and we can arrive in 24 hours, that's basically when we get in tomorrow.
Got it.
Where will we be sailing to right now? Anywhere.
Honestly, my ass y'all would all be upset.
Oh, gosh.
I'd be taking y'all up to like Alaska or something like that.
Okay, what's in Alaska?
Cold weather.
Okay.
Like, I feel like you get a bunch of like, I don't want to say like glaciers, but you know what I'm saying? Like just like big icy formations, which to me is a lot. I like that more than hot weather formations.
Okay.
You
Do
know?
you prefer hot weather or cold weather?
Oh my God, in a heartbeat, cold weather.
Oh, wow.
When the weather.
While I'm in New York, it's like, it says 10 degrees. Feels like 3.
Yeah.
So I know about that life.
Sounds amazing.
No.
Amazing. We just did Avant Gardner in Brooklyn.
Yeah, oh,
And
yeah.
being up there was
Yeah.
like, bring it. Bring me the. Oh my gosh. When it is too hot out, the happy chemicals in my brain wage civil war and everybody dies and it's not good.
And then there's no more music.
And there's no more.
There's no more Sam. There's no more Trivecta.
It's straight
Game
up.
over.
Straight up. I told when we were like tightening up my branding and everything, I was working on. I was like writing notes of like what kind of stuff is in the brand and what kind of stuff is not in the brand.
Yeah.
And like I literally wrote hot weather and anything related to Florida or tropical climate. Like none of that can go. Like that. I hate it. I live in Florida too. I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah.
But you know.
Maybe you'll move to New York.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Yeah, I'm too non-committal. I can't. It's like getting a tattoo. I can't figure out where I want to go, so I get paralyzed and I stay where I am.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a long answer.
So let's say we get to this place, right? We get to Alaska.
Sure.
I'll give you a little bit. Yeah, so we get to Alaska, but somehow everyone disappears.
They probably would. They would have jumped off. They would have jumped off when we rounded the cape of whatever.
So you're there by yourself,
Yeah.
and no one else is in Alaska.
Uh-oh.
What 3 items are you bringing?
Oh, jacket. Does that count? Do I have to?
You can bring a jacket. Yeah,
Does
yeah.
that count as one?
That's 1. Yeah. You can't say a wardrobe. It's just a jacket.
I could say. Okay. All right. Well, then they're gonna need something to stay warm. Probably like a solid pair of headphones.
Okay.
Right?
Got
Because I
it.
can't be doing the phone speaker
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. Well, I mean, look, this depends. Do I have food on the boat?
Fine. I'll give you food and water.
Okay, I got food.
But no
See?
alcohol. And no steak.
What?
your favorite.
Well, look, I've been slimming, so I can stick to chicken in Alaska.
Okay.
Or, come on, we doing like we getting some fresh fish from the Pacific Northwest or
Okay.
something like that.
Okay.
I would probably bring. I'm trying to think. I need to be really careful with this third one here.
That's it. That's all you got.
Yeah, it is. I would probably think a guitar.
Okay.
Yeah.
So stay warm, play music, and then you're good.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
And eat food without steak. I don't like this rule. It seems cruel.
Well,
and
I
unusual.
already know you like steak, so I was like.
I do.
I know this.
I take pride in my steak.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's say somehow you're allowed to bring one guest onto this place called Alaska.
Mhm.
Who are you bringing?
That's a good question. How long am I there?
Indefinitely.
Whoa.
I know that's a huge commitment for a
Yeah,
non-committal person.
This changes
but
things. Honestly, one of my first thoughts of who popped into my head is Kill the Noise.
Okay.
However, over a few weeks, we'll see. But
you're like, I might want to kill this person.
right, literally kill. But I also don't want to pull him away from his family. But I feel like Jake is the type of dude who is sort of he thinks about things enough that if we're stuck in Alaska indefinitely,
Okay.
he would be there to sort of help work it out and figure out where we're trying to go, and it would also be entertaining as hell, and we would have some good conversations along the way.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. I would say woolly, but I was thinking about woolly, but something about the woolly mammoth thing in Alaska, it might become too powerful. Yeah.
Sorry, you just got axed.
Yeah, axed. Jake, so you know, I picked you, bro.
All right, so for a lot of aspiring producers out there,
Yep.
what kind of advice do you have for them as far as them trying to, push the next level of their careers or continue going? Because, it can be challenging at times.
It can be. I would say that one of the most important things is knowing. I mean, you have like the external battle you're fighting, like trying to make music, and for like things like that, I would say always try to at first use references. Like when you're playing an instrument, it doesn't. You always when is the first thing you do? You start learning other people's songs, to like sort of learn how the techniques work and things like that. And there's sort of this. I don't know, I feel like people don't talk enough about in music trying to replicate parts of songs that you like to try to learn how to make those sort of sounds yourself. You can't go too far down that rabbit hole because eventually you need to start trying to find out your own way of doing your own things. And I think to that point, I would say start finding what kind of music you like that you really believe in and try to find creative ways that kind of music can intersect with the sort of scene that you're making music in. I think that's a good part of sort of like the way to do something unique. And the other side of it is the internal side. And like those battles can be just as tough, and like that
not more,
and maybe more, and because I would say one big paradigm shift I had was befriending a lot of my favorite artists and finding that all of them hated their music as much as I hated mine. And when you realize that, or when you meet somebody and find that they have a tattoo of a song that you were so sick of that you thought it sucked, you start to realize, okay, maybe the battle isn't all in what I'm making, but more in how I perceive it, And I think that paying attention to sort of that narrative and learning how to recognize when your songs, take notes. When you think your song is good, when you like it. John Mayer said that your song is as good as you thought it was when you loved it the most. So like,
that's a good one.
It's a big one. And like, so when I
hate this. This is last year.
By the time I finish every song, I hate it. So like, I try to take notes when I love it and say, hey, this is money, this part. So like when you start to hate it, just remember this part's good, And then when you see that feedback from people, it can be really that reinforcing,
Yeah. So have you gone through some challenging times where you felt like, oh gosh, like I don't know if I can keep going?
Oh, for sure. Last night watching Markus Schulz playing all that awesome music, I was sitting here like, yo, what the hell am I supposed to play? I got 2 sets. I'm playing much melodic bass on a house music shit.
Oh my gosh. I said, hey, we need it. I'm very happy. Thank you, Jason, Skeeter, and the crew.
For sure.
For booking
yeah,
all
variety
y'all,
is key. Variety is key.
Yeah,
and it also feel better again, like I said, doing it with a bunch of friends. One thing's interesting is like now having all of these friends doing this, like with the Ophelia community, it's made it a lot easier because before this. Like especially like Jeff, like Seven Lions, when he was doing this before, there was no community, and like all of us were still learning how to make this kind of music, and Homeboy was just out there.
Yeah, he was like known to be like, well, what music do you like? The Seven Lions style music.
And that and it's such a thing that I try to keep in mind because he said that when he played the dubstep rooms, they hated him because he played trance, but if he played the trance rooms, they hated him because he played dubstep. And I try to keep that in mind when I'm playing somewhere, and I'm like, okay, well, how's this gonna go over? You got to remember, like, yo, people had this shit way harder. It's way easier now. Like, like you just gotta kind of, keep your head down and do your damn thing. So, but those feelings, like you asked, like about like doubt and challenges and things, they come all the time. And whenever you get to a higher level, whether it's doing headline tours or doing bigger projects or anything like that, the game is similar, but the stakes always change, So you always sort of have to scale up physically and in your head, too, So yeah.
Yeah, and how are you dealing with it? Because you've been like blowing up like
it's
recently.
Been good, yeah,
so it's like, have you grounded yourself in any way? Like, are you dealing with different challenges? What are those right now?
Good question. When I was teaching guitar more, it was interesting because I would go play like Red Rocks or something, and a little 7-year-old learning the guitar would not care in the slightest. So that always kept me going with the grounding thing. As long as I bring myself down enough, I keep myself pretty grounded. Joe's like that too. You haven't interviewed him yet, right?
He's 4:30. Yeah.
4:30. Yeah. We're both in a similar boat. We're always like, our brains do a pretty good job of keeping us pretty grounded. But the challenges as I've been growing have definitely been there. Like I said, scaling up. just thinking about things like, okay, wow, now I'm like no longer in a space where it's okay to sort of just be at a lower tier. Like before, I was sort of at a space where it's like, all right, well, I have some friends that are just on a bigger scale than me right now, and it's okay to not be putting out merch as frequently as them. It's okay to not be announcing headline tours. It's okay to not be like doing things that turn people into hardcore fans, because we're still at this point. But now that I'm there, now that I'm at a higher tier and sort of stepping into that, it's kind of like, well, okay, the people who you're sort of like competing with, everybody's doing it bigger, It's like going from college to the NFL, Suddenly, suddenly there's no
like,
excuse.
oh shit, I do have to step it out. It's
You
kind
do.
of like it's by default.
Yeah, you really do. You really do if you want to stay up there, yeah.
Yeah, okay. What's been your favorite part of being an artist so far?
I would probably put it between two things. One is like, I love making music. That's like my thing. That's like what I've always done. So just being able to have a sort of outlet where people are listening and I can share it with people, and like I feel like look, my job at the end of the day, there's a lot of shitty stuff. You're flying on planes, you're doing this, you got bad sleep hours and whatever, but like at the end of the day, I'm making music, and that to me is just such an awesome thing, and being able to experience that and do that, I'm so grateful. And the other thing though has been the community, my friends and the fans. Doing this Pantheon tour we just did was some of the most fun, and the Woolly tour too that I'm on too, has been some of the most fun I've had ever, like in my life. Like going out, sharing this, and Ophelia and all of us grew so much in the pandemic that like these people, I mean, we did so many streams, all these people that became such diehard fans that we never met in person. Now we're going out, we're meeting them, and you're getting those connections. I love that.
Yeah.
It is so good.
And I see you guys like you guys all go on stage together.
Yeah,
and, have a good time. It's like it's definitely like a family. You can tell.
We
can
do that. Yeah, it does. It's palpable, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay. Well, before we let you go, what last words do you have for your fans watching out there?
I will say this. I will say that that in the spirit of what's going on here, I'm not a vacationer, like I said, and I have been pleasantly surprised. I've been having a great time.
So
far.
can we expect you back on Groove Cruise?
Yes.
All
I
right.
will gladly do it again.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We can't wait to catch you play.
Of course.
And
Thank you.
we'll see you on board. And what are you drinking?
I'm drinking. This is a what do you call it? Tito's with club soda and a splash of cranberry.
Awesome.
I don't know which camera I'm looking at. I'm just gonna nice.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sam.
Thank you. Pleasure.